Good morning. This is Dr. Turner for Fundamental Mathematics. Today we're going to be talking about 3.1, which is looking at rounding decimals. Rounding decimals, you're going to round to a certain place. The technique's fairly simple. Hopefully this assignment is also, but we'll go ahead and just jump right into it. So looking at 3.1, when you are asked to round a decimal, typically you're going to be given either a place value or be told to round to the nearest whole number. So when you're looking at a decimal, starting here, going to the left, you have just whole numbers. So you'll have the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, etc. If you're asked to round to a whole number, then you are rounding to the ones place. You'll round so that you don't have a decimal value. Okay, so if you're asked to specify for a whole number, then you're rounding to the ones place. If you have a decimal value and you're asked to round, then going down to the right of the decimal, you have the tenths place, the hundreds place, the thousands place, etc. Sometimes those values will be given as a fraction. Sometimes the words will be spelled out. So tenths with a TH at the end, hundredths, thousandths, etc. When being asked to round, if I tell you to round to, let's say, the tenths place, what you're doing is, say, have something like 0.45, whatever place value you're asked to round to, you can highlight that, you can circle that, and there are a couple idioms people use to remember this. Most commonly, you circle or highlight the number that you want to round to, and the idiom is, if the number next door is 5 or more, the circled number adds 1 more. So if I'm rounding to the tenths place here, I look at the number that's next to it to the right. And if it is 5 or higher, then you round up. If it is 4 or lower, then it stays the same. And that's pretty much it. So let's look at a few examples here. Number 1, 32.756. If I asked you to round to the tenths place, you go in, highlight or circle the place value that you're rounding to, in this case tenths. That's 1 spot after the decimal. I look at the number that's adjacent to it. That's a 5. So because it's 5 or higher, this will become 32.8. Number 2, 249.3176. If I ask you to round to the hundredths place, go in, highlight the place that you're rounding to or circle it. I'm rounding to the hundredths place, so I look at the number that's adjacent to it. That's a 7. Because 7 is higher than 5, I add 1 to that number, so 249.32. Number 3, 698.114. Ask you to round to the, let's say, hundreds place again. Go in and circle or highlight the place that you're rounding to. Look at the number that's adjacent to it. In this case, that's 4. So because it's not higher than 5, my answer is 698.11. 375.496. Ask you to round to the nearest whole number. Whole number again, that's going to be rounding to the ones place. So highlight the number you're rounding to. Look at the number that's adjacent to it. That is 4 or lower. So rounding to the nearest whole number, this would be 375. That's it for today, guys. If you have any questions, please reach out during office hours. Have a good day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.